So here's the final unit of your exam review. This is going to be unit 5. This is about symmetry, scaling, and surface area. The first page is about surface area, and again, surface area is basically the surface and the area. So if you need to find the surface area of a present, you're looking at all the sides of the present. If you're looking at the surface area of, say, this water bottle, then you need to find the surface area of around, bottom, and the top, and you're looking at the area of each of the sides. So the first example that we have is looking at the surface area of this block, and what you need to know in order to calculate surface area is really the formulas to calculate surface area, or just the area by itself. You know that from previous, I guess, videos or lessons, that a square or a rectangle, the area of this is going to be length times width. So whatever the length is times the width, that's the area. And if you look at this one, this is a three-dimensional shape. There's a front side, a back side, a top, bottom, and the two sides. So you have to remember how many sides you have. It's a good idea to break it down and then add them up after, so that you're more organized with your notes. So let's go. The front side of this one has, this one has 6 sides. And the total surface area of this is that, well, I need to figure out what the front is. So I'm going to use F for front. And the area of the front is this 2 by 5. Well, that's not very straight, but 2 by 5, that's 2 times 5. That's equal to 10. Well, the back side of this is exactly the same, so that's going to be 10 as well. You have your two sides at the end. So let's do side 1. So side 1 is going to be 2 for the bottom part. And then the height or the length, the width, that's another 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. And we can know that the other side of this is going to be 4 as well. What else are we do we have to do? That's the top. So the top is from here. We can see that there's 2 shapes here. And the length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 2 times 5. That's equal to 10. And if we have the top, then obviously we have the bottom as well, so that's 10 as well. So now I just need to total all this stuff up. 10 plus 10 is 20, plus 4, that's 18, plus another 2 10s, that's going to be 48. Don't forget your units, because 48 doesn't mean anything until you put 48 centimeter, and since we're talking about area, it's square. That's your answer. This is another rectangular shape, and it's 3 dimensions, so it has 6 sides for any sort of 3-dimensional polygons. And the front side here, the front side is going to be 11 times 4. The length or the height is 11, the width is 4. This is going to equal to 44. If we have the front, we have the back, so that's going to be 44 as well. Let's look at the side of this one. So the side 1 is going to be, side 1 is going to be 6. Here's my 6, and then we have to multiply by the height, which is 11. So 6 times 11 is 66. If we have one side, we have to have the other side, which is 66 as well. Now, what do we have left? We have the top part, which is this part, right? And the dimension is going to be, this is 6 and this is 4, so I need to go 4 times 6 is 24. And if we have a top, we have a bottom, so that's going to be that, like that. We don't even have to calculate it. We know that there's always 2 sides of each. So add all this stuff up. 44 plus 66, that's 110. That's 220 plus 48. Let's say that is 268, and then that's centimeters square. So that's the surface area. That means all the area of all the sides of this is equal to 268 centimeters square. The next one is similar to the previous one. So the number of sides is going to be 6. I'm going to break this down again. The front is going to be 3 times 12. This 12 is for this length, but it can also be for this height as well. Same thing, 36. And then that means my back is also 36. And then my side number 1, let's say for this side, okay, this side is going to be 4 times 12 is 48. And side 2, well, the other side is exactly the same, that's 48. My top here is going to be this length, which is 3 times this length or width, which is 4. So that's going to be 12. And if we have the top, we have the bottom, which is 12 as well. So the total is going to be all these numbers added together. So this is going to be 72, this is going to be 96, this is going to be 24. So the grand finale of this is what? 168 168 plus 24 is 192 centimeter square. Hopefully I did the math correctly. If I didn't, please let me know. The last one, or two left, this one is exactly the same sort of shape. So let's do the front first. My front is going to look like this. So that's 2 times 3 is 6 feet squared. The back is 2 times 3, which is the same thing. Okay, getting the hang of this. My side is going to be, side 1 is 6 times, here's my 6 times this is 2, which is 12 feet square. And side 2, which is on the other side, which is 12 feet square as well. Do I have my top? Top is right here. That is going to be 6 times 3, because my 3 can also be that width as well. So that's 18. And then if I have my top, I have my bottom, which is 18 again. So add all this stuff up. 6 plus 6 is 12. So 3 times 12 is 36. 36, this is also 36. That's 72. What are my dimensions? Feet square. So those are my three-dimensional shapes. Make sure you sort of break down all these sides. If you do all the work in doing all the breakdown, your answer should be correct. Next one, we have a triangle. So area of a triangle, area of triangle is base times height divided by 2. So let's find the area of the triangle first. So that's going to be, my base is whatever is touching. So it'll be 2.3 times 1.4, that's my height, divided by 2. And then I have this times by 2. Oh, let's just multiply this. I need to see if I can get a calculator. Be right back. So 2.3 times 1.4 divided by 2 is 1.61. If I have 1.61 on the front side, then the back one would be also 1.61 meters square. Now, for this triangle, I have a bottom. So this one has a bottom, which is just sitting on the ground. And that's a rectangle. So it's going to be 2.3 times 0.7 gives you one of these decimal places, okay? Gives you 1.61 as well, 1.61. Okay, so do I have all the sides? I have the front and the back and the bottom. What about the sort of the back side right there? So many back side. So this is going to be on the side. Let's just call it that. What are my dimensions? I have 1.4. It's a rectangle times the base here is right here, but it's not given. But we can see that the base is given here, so which is 0.7. So that gives me an answer of 1.4 times 7 is 0.98. And then the last one, I have this big slant right here. That's a big rectangle, so my dimension of the slant is going to be 2.7 times 0.7 gives me the answer of 1.89. So now it looks really messy, but here is what I have to add. That, and that. Do I have 5 sides? I think we have 5 sides here, right? There's this side on the back, the slant has 2 sides, the front and the back, and then the bottom. So that's 5 sides. So the total, I know this is really messy, I guess I can just extend the page. Total of this three-dimensional triangle is going to be 1.61 plus 1.61 plus 1.61 plus 0.98 plus 1.89. Gives you a grand total of 7.7 meters squared. So that's your answer. So that's your surface area. We have more of these ones. So this is another triangular shape. So number of sides, this one we have 5 sides. Let's start with the slant. The slant in this case is my big rectangle here. So that's going to be 8 times 5 is 40. And then I have 2 triangles on the side. Remember, the area of the triangle on one side is going to be 3 times 4, but it's divided by 2 because that's the area of that. So that's going to be 6. And then my other side of the triangle on the other side is going to be 6 as well because it's exactly the same. We have the one that's sort of on the back side. So that back side is going to be, what are my dimensions? I have this height, which is 3. And do I have the bottom? Yeah, I have it. It's same as this one, which is 8, gives me 24. What is it sitting on? This big rectangle that's sitting on. So this is the bottom piece. Bottom piece. This one means the back. So this one is going to be 4 times 8, which is 32. So the total of all these 40 plus 6 plus 6 plus 24 plus 32. I'm just too lazy to do this in my head. I should be doing this mental math. 108 inches square. So that's that one. Moving on to this one. This one has how many sides? One side here for the back triangle, front triangle, 2 slants, and the back side. So that's 5 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's work with the triangles first. So these triangles. The base is 2, so that's 2. What's my height? 4, right here. This is my height is 4. Divide by 2, which is going to be 4 millimeters square. If I have this back triangle, then I can figure out, well, basically it's the same as the front triangle because they're exactly identical. So I don't have to do math anymore. Now, what about my slant? My slant 1 is going to be this rectangle over here. So it looks sort of a diamond shape, but then it's still a rectangle. What are my dimensions? I have 3.5 times, what is my base here? 6 millimeters, and multiply this. So 3.5 times 6 is 21. And slant 2 is exactly the same, so that's going to be 21 as well. And then now my bottom part right here, I'm shading it in. This bottom part is going to be 2 times 6 is 12. So I'm going to add this, and that for the grand total. So there's a lot of work here. So that's going to be 8 plus 21 is 29. 29, 30, 40, 50, 62. 62 millimeters square. That's the total surface area. So let's move on to the next one. This one is a little bit more tricky because it has a cube and a sort of a pyramid. So let's break this down for the bottom. So bottom cube. We're going to find the surface area of that. Since the bottom cube is being sat on by this pyramid, the top of this cube is not going to be exposed, so you don't need to find the surface area. You just need to find the 5 sides. So 5 sides. So there's this side, the back side here, and also the back side, and then the bottom piece. That's 5 sides. Luckily, it's a cube, so they're all the same. So 3 times 3 is equal to 9 times the 5 sides gives me 45 feet square. That's for the area of just the cube. So then for the pyramid, then we're going to do exactly the same thing, but we're going to neglect and forget about the bottom of the pyramid because that's sitting on the square, so we don't need that. We have basically 4 sides of the pyramid, and I think they're exactly the same. So because it's sitting on a cube, so what's my base? My base is 3 because this is 3 here. And then what's my height? Well, it's given to me as 5. So that's going to be 3 times 5 is 15. And I'm going to multiply this by 4 sides. That gives me a total of 60 feet square. So I'm not done yet. I need to add these. That's the total of 105 feet square for this pyramid on a cube. So that's your surface area. Make sure you're able to see all the sides. Make sure you're able to see the calculations. Be thorough with your answers. Make sure you have your unit after with exponent 2. So that's the surface area. And I'm going to continue on with the scaling, and hopefully you continue watching it. Hopefully this has helped you. So see you later.